we had the opportunity to cancel Rodimus and RC. I didn't want to do that, but if you guys ever, if you really, you need to write and ask, right? Because these could easily be done as GI Joes without
the name,
without the names or anything like that. Just kind of generic blue dude, and I don't know if they let us do that or not.
Call him Old Man Rick.
Old Man Rick.
Got the Mr. Fantastic silver sideburns going there.
Now, if we wanted this to be done as a Joe thing, who would we contact? Who would we pester?
You would contact the club or Hasbro.
Okay, so we'll contact the club. Think they'll listen.
Yeah, because you really need to do Springer and Magnus, right? I mean, really.
Yeah.
But if they never get done, they don't. But if they,
they're kind of a you got the Snake in there, and then Hot Rod and RC. It's kind of the way I look at them is because of that episode, they're kind of like a set, and you want them as a set, just like if you release the Insecticons, if you only release 2 of them. It's kind of like you're gonna have more people buy those initial ones because hey, we're coming out with all 3 Insecticons. It's like okay, now I want them.
We would have done. I mean, we would have done those 2. We would have done Arkaville. We would have done Chip for you. We would have done. We would have done. What's the Lorne Chumley? I mean, maybe not Chumley. We would have done. Who was the reporter? Hector Ramirez. I mean, we would have done. I mean, there would have been a lot more of it. I mean, that was kind of my pet project on the side. That was kind of something where I was involved on the Joe side a lot more for the product development side. So yeah, I was really excited about that, and there would have been a lot more. I mean, the 5-pack's phenomenal. Raul, that would have been great. Raul, you look at Masterpiece Tracks. I mean, it would have been
better scale too.
Yeah. So, but I'm glad we got the ones out that we did get out. So.
All right. So next thing we have is what is your personal favorite story that you worked on over the years, and is there anything that you would like to fix or expand upon within that story? I guess Jesse can chime in too on this if he wants, or any of these if he wants to.
Yeah, I mean my I think my favorite story was I'll put it in 2 categories. Story that I just worked on as far as more of a coordinating thing, and getting it pushed through, of course, with the Stunticon job, the animated thing with Marty Eisenberg and Matt Youngberg and Derek Wyatt. That was a blast. Marcelo Matere did the art. So I didn't really do anything story wise with that. Stories I guess I was involved with. I mean, I'd have to go back to the first one being The Dawn is Futures Past. It was like the first official writing I ever did, and that was in 2006. And then I think I really like because it's the most recent. I was really happy with the Masters and Mayhem. I really like kind of how that wrapped everything up, and I think it was a nice twist there at the end. I think that was kind of the it brought back Ramjet, who was in the original 2005 story. It just kind of brought everything full circle, and so I mean, there's stories. There's not a lot of stories where I was kind of like, ugh. And there's not a lot of stories where I'm like super like, oh my god, that was great. But yeah, I mean the Stunticon job, 2006, just for what it meant, and then I think just the last year's story because it was just so fun to wrap it up. I don't know which ones did you like?
You just add a whole bunch to my list. So yeah, of Master Man, I love that story, and getting all those loose ends tied together, and for the same reason I like Another Light.
Another Light, yeah, with the Shattered Glass story, that was fun.
Yeah, that was really fun. And that animated one turned out perfect. I love that comic. So
yeah, that animated comic is really just one of the. I mean, that's just great. I mean, because that's when it looked like there would be nothing ever animated again, and it was just we thought it was a really fun end to that whole series too. An additional, not an end because they had their proper ending, but like the addendum. So a 22-page epilogue in a way.
All right, what about you, Rick?
Will you ever release any of the mock-ups for figures that were considered planned or otherwise didn't make the final cut? I guess maybe similar to that Human Magnus you just showed
I
us.
have so many mock-ups. Unreal. I've got literally hundreds
Folders and folders.
folders. You know, I look back through some of this stuff. One day I'll go through and I'll sort it all when there's a little bit more time between. Just because it's honestly, I'm in a new house now. I moved, so I kind of working on the last things I want to get around here, and then it's gonna be spring, so I'll be working outside, and then there'll be other things I'm doing, job wise. So eventually I'll get to that, and I'll put it all together and see what I can possibly do with it. But yeah, there's sometimes, there's more. There's just so much stuff I've even forgotten at this point. I have to go back and I'm like, oh my gosh, that's right, we considered that, or that was a horrible idea, and good thing we didn't consider it.
There's a few of the